made bakery style brown butter chocolate chunk cookies that are thick and moist and just fall apart and melt in your mouth. I have been seeing the cutest farmers market parties on the internet recently. It's a party where every single one of your friends brings a cute little homemade gift and everybody gets to leave with lots of cute homemade goodies. And it got me thinking, if I was a guest at one of these parties, what would I bring? Which is where this series was born. I already made a video on this a few weeks ago, but I want to show you all the cute little edible gifts that you can make for your friends. Whether or not you're gonna do a farmers market party, I am planning to do a farmers market party in the fall, so stay tuned for that and a bunch of fall themed goodies. But this is gonna be our last summer one in this series. I'm thinking we'll do fall, we'll do Christmas, we'll do spring, and then we'll have all 4 seasons of edible gifts. Today we're making so much fun stuff. In part 1, we made homemade marshmallows, homemade vanilla extract, whipped honey butter, and whipped honey. If you're interested in that, go ahead and watch that after you finish this video. I'm gonna keep today's homemade gifts a surprise. But I will tell you the first one because we're literally making that right now. We're making bakery style brown butter oatmeal chocolate chunk cookies. Doesn't that sound delicious? Yes. Yes, it does. And we're gonna go ahead and package it up really cute as well. I got my mise en place, everything in one place. This is my biggest tip for you in the kitchen, especially if you're someone like me who gets overwhelmed very, very easily. I used to think that I could not bake, but it's not that I can't bake, it's that it's impossible to look at my recipe and then how much flour, how much this, how much that, how much that. Just put everything out in one place for yourself so you can read your recipe, say, hey, I need my flour, hey, I need my oatmeal. Like, that is the easiest way to bake and not be overwhelmed. So step number 1 is that we're gonna go ahead and brown some butter. This is one big old clump of butter. Just mix the butter until it starts to brown, but be careful not to boil it because you might boil away too much moisture, which is gonna mess up the measurements a bit. Just keep mixing until you get a nice brown color. Now, I'm not one to scorch my brown butter. You're gonna lose a lot of the moisture that way, which can make the measurements a little bit off. I like to warm my butter until the milk solids separate a bit and it tastes a little bit nutty. So what we're gonna do now is just set this aside to cool down. All right, now, we're gonna go ahead and add in our brown sugar as well as our granulated sugar. Give that a nice good whisk around. I broke my whisk, so this is kind of how we're doing this right now. Oh, I think my brown sugar has some clumps in it. I must have not closed the package all the way. Just get in here with my hands. All right, now we got our room temperature eggs. Our vanilla. Now I'm gonna wait for our butter to cool off before finishing our wet ingredients. So we're gonna go ahead and add our flour, our oats, all of our dry ingredients. We got some baking soda, some baking powder, a little bit of espresso powder, and some salt. The mise en place is so perfect because you just have everything right there when you need it, and when you're done you just have a teensy little stack of all the bowls that you use. But this just makes it so much easier and so much faster. I didn't have to search through my pantry for anything, and I really just got to enjoy what I was doing and pay attention to my recipe as well. So we're going to go ahead and just mix everything in here, and now we're perfect. Just gotta wait for that butter to cool off. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and add my brown butter in. And don't be lazy like me. The best way to do this is to do sugar and then brown butter and then your eggs, but my brown butter was taking a while to cool down. That's why we did it this way, and I think we're still in a pretty good place. Yeah, I think we're looking okay. That's what the kitchen's for. It's for experimenting. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and slowly fold in our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. We'll see if my little mistake messes up these cookies or if it doesn't matter. All right, let's go ahead and fold everything in. All right, now our dough is looking super yummy. Let's go ahead and add in those chocolate chips. I've got about 8 ounces in here. Ho, ho, ho. These are gonna be so chocolatey and delicious. Just be careful not to mix too much, but it's all right to get everything incorporated in here. Our dough is looking great. I'm so excited. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this in the fridge for 30 minutes. Overnight is better if you want even thicker, more bakery style cookies, but I don't want to wait that long. Like I always say, taste as you go. I don't know if I'm supposed to eat oatmeal like that. Maybe not. It's so good. These are gonna be delicious. All right, so our dough has cooled for a while. Let's go ahead and get this on our baking sheet. I'm just gonna go ahead and put my dough onto our sheet, and then I'll roll it up a little bit with my hands and put some extra chocolate chips on top. I think this is gonna make us about 12 cookies. I don't know how much they're gonna expand though, so we'll see. One thing I did do with this cookies is precisely measure everything on the scale. I'm the first person to not want to do any of that, but when you're making cookies, a little bit of extra flour or a little bit of extra butter, all these things can make the cookies come out a little bit different than you'd like, and I am just not in the mood to remake cookies. I will show you my kitchen scale. This is the kitchen scale I use. I'll go ahead and link this as well as everything else you'll see in this video on my Shop My. But if there's one thing I've learned when baking, there's nothing more annoying than literally doing everything, doing all the steps, thinking you did everything right, measuring everything out, and then they just don't turn out. So that's why I've started to measure precisely when I'm baking. And of course, I share all these recipes with you on my blog too. So I want you to have the precise measurements in grams as well. If you're choosing to use the scale, I recommend it. I don't use it for everything I'm baking, but with cookies, for some reason, I feel like I need to be a little bit more precise. So that's what I've been doing. So I'm also gonna go ahead and add some chocolate chips on top of our dough here. I like to add a few more on top of the dough, and then after baking, I'll sneak some in as well. But let's get these ones all nice and melty and delicious. This recipe is still in testing. By the time you see this video, we should be out of the testing phase. But I'll be sure to put this recipe on my website if everything is good by then. Now we're gonna put these guys into the oven at 350 for about 11 to 14 minutes. I found recently that 12 to 13 has been the best for me. Okay, so my oven is still preheating, but I wanted to show you what old-fashioned rolled oats we've got in these cookies right now. These are the ones from Bob's Red Mill. I love them so much. There's this Persian dish called gondi that I always make. It's with these like chicken or turkey meatballs slash dumplings. No one can decide if they're dumplings or meatballs. I think they're meatballs. But Bob's Red Mill has the chickpea flour. Not a lot of people have chickpea flour, so I love Bob's Red Mill for that. My family has been using this brand for a really, really long time. It's organic, non-GMO, and whole grain. No, I'm not working with them. I just really, really love these products. I've been trying to focus on using ingredients that I know are a little bit better for you, so I really, really love this brand for that. And also, I can't lie, the packaging is just really cute. But it looks like my oven is preheated, so let's go ahead and pop our cookies in. Eli just came home for lunch and he tried the cookie dough and he said it is the best cookie dough he's ever tried. So I am keeping my fingers crossed that these bake up really, really yummy. Okay, our cookies look really good, but do they taste good? That's like the most important part, right? Let's give it a taste. These are delicious. So now that we know our cookies are really tasty, let's go ahead and package them up. I put some really cute flaky salt on all of my cookies. Now, this is actually my first time using real flaky salt. This brand called Jacobsen Salt Co. sent me some salt to try, and I'm so excited. They sent me like a pink one too, which I think will be really, really cute. But I am really excited to go ahead and package these up. So I got these cute little clear baggies. So I also grabbed these 4-inch doilies, and I made some little labels. I'm so sad to see these go. Like, I actually don't even want to package these away. Okay, cute. So the doilies will just help them not stick together. All right, let's go ahead and put a cute velvet ribbon around it. And I like that you can still see the top cookie instead of like having a doily around it. It just looks really, really cute that way. Cute, yay! Now just our little label, just right across the top. Obviously it would be easier to put the label on before putting the cookies, but I just wanted to be able to see the whole process. All right, now we got our cute little cookies. These are a little bit delicate. You have to be a little bit careful with them. But I think they're looking really, really good. I'm super happy with how these turned out. It's just a really adorable gift and a quick way to tell somebody that you love them. I'm just like holding it like this. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to our Herby floral crackers. I'm really, really excited about these. So to do our crackers, we're gonna get 250 grams of flour. That's about 2 cups. Proof of measuring. I feel like this is so much less messy as well. 318. Okay. 318. 290. 251. 250. Okay, I'm trying to be as precise as possible for you guys, so you know how these are like actually supposed to turn out. I don't want to mess them up on video. We're gonna do 157 milliliters of water, which is about 2/3 cup. Oh goodness gracious. It can get a little messy. Let me get a tablespoon. I promise it is so much easier than this. I'm just making it hard on myself because I want to make sure that I can show you guys the best version of these gifts. You definitely have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to this. Like, don't worry too much about it. Okay, perfect. We're gonna do about 1/3 cup of olive oil. I am running low on oil. The things that I go through so fast in this house are flour, oil, eggs. It's a lot, it's a lot. 1/2 teaspoon salt. All right, so let's go ahead and add in our flour, our salt, and our baking powder. Okay, now we're just gonna go ahead and add in our olive oil, as well as our water. I'm having one of those moments where I'm feeling like I need a little bit more flour here, so I'm gonna adjust my recipe a little bit. There we go. Tad bit too wet for me. Now it's looking a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna remind me to write that down later. I'm like, I need to give you the perfect recipe. Okay. I might even add like a touch more. Dough is so easy to make. All right, so we got our big ball of dough. Now I'm gonna go pop into the garden and get some rosemary. I got lots of really fun edible flowers. I got some pansy, some borage, some nasturtium leaves, and some rosemary as a nice little herb. Here's our ball of dough. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and knead this first. So now all we're gonna do, we're just gonna go ahead and roll. Just roll these crackers real nice and flat. I'm doing it on parchment paper so it's easier to transfer them. Looking good. We're just gonna roll this out until it's nice and rectangular and get it fairly thin. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the edges off. You could use these, but I want these to be square. Okay. Okay, now for the fun part, which is shaping our crackers and decorating them with some edible flowers. Alright, so I use oil to stick my flowers onto the crackers, but you can use an egg wash. Somehow I'm out of eggs again. I feel like I've got like a bazillion eggs this week, but look how pretty! They look so good already. I'm very excited. So we're just gonna put these in the oven to bake for about 10 minutes and then they'll be ready to package up. Okay, so these crackers are thick and biscuity. If you want a cracker with even more of a snap and a bit more crunch, I'd recommend not using the baking soda. I'll put an example of that on my blog if I get around to testing that version of the recipe before this one goes up. But look how cute. Look how cute. So I sprinkled a little bit of flaky salt on these guys. I probably could have even gone with a few more flowers on these, but they just look really, really, really cool. Isn't that so much fun? I'm very excited. Should we eat one? Let's eat one. So good. Wow. This would look so beautiful on a charcuterie board. So I grew all these flowers in my garden. If you're looking for edible flowers that are safe to eat, honestly, I recommend ordering them online from an edible flower company or going to your local nursery and looking for the section that says edible flowers. The reason I'm not saying to go pick any old pansy from a flower shop or a home improvement store is that you don't really know what they're spraying these flowers with when they're not labeled for human consumption. I, however, know that I grow these in my garden so they're safe to eat. I'm not spraying anything on them. So that's just something to think about. Let's eat one of the flowers. Pansies are kind of salty. So good. And the nasturtiums are a little bit peppery. So you're kind of getting that like salt, pepper, and rosemary vibe. Very tasty. Let's go ahead and package these up. turned out so cute. I'm so excited about these. These are so tasty. And I think I really do like them with a bit of baking soda because they get a little bit more puffy and they look a little bit more homemade. They look fantastic. So the next homemade gift we're gonna make today is a granola with sliced almonds, honey, white chocolate, and also dried strawberries. So in a large bowl, we're gonna add olive oil, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of salt, some vanilla extract, about 1/4 cup of honey. And if you're someone who doesn't really like to measure that much, this recipe is for you the same way it is for me. A lot of these things can be eyeballed. I eyeballed the ginger, I eyeballed the cinnamon, I'm eyeballing the honey. I did not eyeball the olive oil. We're not gonna eyeball the oats, but you know. Right, let's go ahead and add our almonds in here. Now I'll add my oats in. Give everything a good mix. Let's get everything onto a baking sheet with some parchment paper. And go ahead and spread it out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven at 325 for about 10 minutes, then mix it, then 10 more minutes, then mix it, and then 5 more minutes, and then mix it. It's been 10 minutes. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a nice mix. Now let's pop it in for 10 more minutes. Our granola is looking nice and toasty. Now is the part where I become a little bit impatient. So we're gonna let this cool for about 30 to 45 minutes, which kind of annoying. But I don't want to ruin it, whatever. And then we're gonna add in our strawberries, our white chocolate, then we're gonna package her up. But in the meantime, let's start working on our caramel sauce. I've been looking forward to this all day long. I am so very excited. I think we'll move this out of the way and then we'll just get started. What we're gonna do first for our salted caramel sauce is go ahead and pour some sugar into a saucepan. I am adding in 1 cup. Got this on medium heat, and now we're just gonna wait for the sugar to begin to dissolve. I'm gonna just stir occasionally. But while we wait for the sugar to melt, I just can't stop thinking about how excited I am to finally be building traditions with my family. Growing up, I spent a lot of Christmases alone. I spent a lot of birthdays alone. I spent a lot of my time alone in general. And you know, there was one friend that I met in 5th grade, and I think in 8th grade, she invited me to her Christmas Eve party for the first time. Her family does this annual Christmas Eve party. She was my best friend, and every single Christmas Eve, they make stromboli together, and there's just like stromboli everywhere. All the counters are filled with meats and cheeses and vegetables, and every single guest brings a different ingredient to make the stromboli, and they do karaoke, and people literally stay until like 1 a.m. And the first time I went to that party, I just thought it was pure magic. Like, I never knew Christmas had a smell to it. I never really had any holiday traditions growing up, or traditions in general. I ate most of my meals in my room, spent most of my days by myself. But after I went to that Christmas Eve party with my friend, I decided that I wanted my future to be different. I had always knew that I wanted a home that felt different than my home, but I never really knew what that looked like. I never really understood traditions or families that spent time together. I never imagined having that special relationship with my parents. And by the time I was 18, it was just me, and that was really, really scary. I didn't have guidance when I moved out and got my first apartment. I did move in with Eli though, which is nice, and his family is a normal family, so your girl learned how to do a lot of things. I learned how to clean a kitchen, I learned how to use a dishwasher, I learned a lot of stuff. Okay? Thank you, Eli. But it was so just scary moving into, you know, my first home and wanting to build traditions for myself but having no idea where to start. It was so isolating. And, you know, I would talk to my friends about it. A lot of people don't understand, and that's okay. It's hard not having someone to call. It's hard learning how to do all of the adulting by yourself. But in those moments where I felt alone and isolated, I held on to those bits and pieces from my friends' houses. I held on to their family dinners. I also had this friend whose mom would make roast potatoes, like these really good crispy roast potatoes, and I would always go over for their family dinners and they would all sit around the table, talk about their day. She'd make roast potatoes, chicken, like just a really nice, lovely dinner, and they all just, you know, talked and spent time together around the table. And as I build my life, I just think back to those experiences and I try to rebuild them for myself so that my child and that my family can have those traditions and they can have those beautiful memories. And I'm so thankful to have those memories at all with my friends and to even have those experiences. It was already so scary not having guidance, but it's one thing not having guidance in taxes versus not having guidance in how to build a beautiful home. And you know, I knew what not to do, and then all of those family dinners that I went to with my friends, those helped me learn what to do. My grandma would also come over on Sundays as I got older, and she would make us Persian food, and the house would smell like saffron and toddy. And that was a good experience that I had growing up as well. I just knew the house would be peaceful on those days, and I knew that I was gonna be a little happier than usual on those days. But look at this, hold on. Look at our caramel. Anyways, I guess all of that to say, I love doing this stuff, and this is reminding me of the holidays and building traditions and just having a village and building that community. And you know, you don't have to be born with it. Just keep building, just keep learning. You can do hard things. When I left home, pretty much everything that I had to do was a hard thing. Adulting was a hard thing, and I think, you know, I've really been able to build confidence by doing those hard things. And in the kitchen, the more hard things I do, the more confident I become. And I think that is just such a good thing to remember when you're going through life. Just do the hard things, and as you continue to do them, you'll get better and better and better. But it is time to continue this caramel sauce. Okay, let's do this thing. All right, so I got my butter in here. All right, let's go ahead and add in our heavy cream. By the way, once the sugar fully melts, you can take it off the heat and then add your butter and then add your heavy cream. Now we're just gonna mix this up, and I'm gonna let it sit here for about 30 minutes off of the heat until it thickens up, and that's it. This literally took us 10 minutes. All right, now to finish off our granola, I'm gonna add in some white chocolate chips and some freeze-dried strawberries. At this point, it's harder to break into, which is perfect. And you can just mix it up. All right, I'm gonna have some fun putting this granola into a cute little jar. Mine's a bit sticky because I added a little bit more honey. I just wanted it to bind together a little bit more. Here's how it turned out. I added a cute little scooper as well. All right, take a look at this. Wow, does that look perfect? Now all we've got to do is package it up. I am very, very excited to eat all of this. Now that this is cooled down, we're just gonna go ahead and start getting it into our little jar. We try not to make a big mess. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put some flaky salt in here as well. And although we've come to the end of the road, no, I can't let you go. All delusions aside, I had the best day hanging out with you, and look at all the fun stuff we made. Are you kidding me? Today we made granola. Today we made salted caramel sauce. Today we made bakery style brown butter chocolate chunk cookies that are thick and moist and just fall apart and melt in your mouth. And we made the cutest Herby floral crackers. I'm curious to know if you plan on trying any of these. All of the recipes are gonna be on my blog as usual. You can shop this video on my Shop My as always. And if you wanna hang out just a little bit more, come and follow me on Instagram. I post there literally every day. And I love when you guys message me and let me know what videos you wanna see next. That is literally one of the main ways that I love to plan out my video ideas. So please let me know if you would like a part 3 to this. I'm thinking of doing a fall version next. So let me know, but oh my gosh, I had the best day ever. Like, this was so much fun. I almost just wanna keep going. I have so many more ideas. I guess that's it for today. I am probably gonna go hang out outside, have a quick cup of tea, and maybe, just maybe, a cookie as well, if you wanna join me. And then I'm gonna get to work in cleaning this kitchen. I did a pretty good job cleaning as I went though. Lucky me, finally learning. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and remember, you can do hard things. I promise you, none of this stuff is as hard as it looks. It's so much easier than it looks. So many things in the kitchen are just so much easier than they look, especially as you continue to practice and try and keep going and just keep doing the things that make you happy. I love gift giving. It's one of my love languages, and being able to give a gift with someone else in mind is such a beautiful thing. Like, I could tell you each one of these little things, who would love it, and that is just a really, really beautiful thing to me. So if you're planning on making any of these gifts, I'd love to know who you're making them for. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next Friday for another video. It is almost time for me to go elope in Italy. So maybe I'll see you in Italy. Will I be in Italy by then? I don't know, but I'll see you in Italy. We're gonna travel, we're gonna leave the house, and I'm gonna do cooking videos in Italy. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.